if you're not a strong salesperson, I highly encourage you to become a strong salesperson or partner up with somebody who is a strong salesperson, who's not gonna get greedy. And I'm telling you, like, you will fucking flourish, like thrive beyond your wildest beliefs.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to REI Allies podcast number 4. Today we have a special guest in the house, a shark. That's right, a shark. We're gonna give you the energy that you need, the enthusiasm, and the inspiration, because this guy is a non-stop machine. Welcome, Mr. Shark Tino.
Dude, I'm truly grateful to be here today. Like, fuck, what an intro, man.
Absolutely.
God
yeah.
damn.
Absolutely.
I better fucking bring it, right? I gotta bring it at this point.
You deserve it, brother.
I appreciate you guys, man. I've known you guys for a little bit, right? You've been to my house before.
Absolutely.
And, we're good friends. I love what you guys are doing, man. So when you reached out and was like, hey, would you mind popping in? I was like, hell yeah, man, sign me the fuck up, you know?
And welcome to my house, man.
I mean, I love this place. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Guys, Rich Wonders in the house, and my name is Ahmad Soughar. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to dive right into this. And to start it off with question number 1, man, how much money you got in your bank account?
Right. Okay. I was about to say, you know what's so funny? One of my friends, shouts out to Antonio, Unburnt Truth, if you guys don't follow him. The other day he hit me up. He's like, yo, my beep, explicit. He's like, I need to hold something. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what you need? And he's like, I need about 1.2. I was like, okay, but how long will I get it back? Yeah. Like, I'm like, how about 1.1, and then I can hold the rest. And then he's like, nah, 1.2. I'm like, all right, bro, I got it, but just let me know when I'm gonna get it back. Like, I need some. That's a lot of exposure. And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm just checking to see who my real friends are. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it's super funny.
That's a great way to answer the question, and that paints a good picture for you guys. So tune in. Let's find out exactly how my man was able to make it out the mud and really get to this level. So, Rich?
Yeah, so REI Allies podcast, like, kind of our mission is we want to bring on people that have overcome great things, and like just learning from Tino, just talking with him right now, like he's got like an incredible story, right? Mm-hmm. And we're all about mindset, real estate, and sales.
Yeah.
And you've got like some pretty incredible,
I love it,
kind of history and everything, man. Can you just like dive in, just like tell us a little bit about your history?
So my parents are from Mexico. My mom is Mexican and French, and my dad is just Mexican. They're from a small town called Guadalajara in Mexico, and Jalisco is like the state.
Viva Mexico.
Viva Mexico. And long story short, I'm first generation here. My mom was adopted. We moved out here, grew up in sunny San Diego, California, and my mom remarried, and my stepdad was a white guy. Hell yeah. He moved, he retired from the Navy, and we moved out here. So my senior year of high school, I had my senior year of high school here in Arizona. I graduated from high school, and I joined the Army. I was in the Army for 7 years, did all that cool hula shit, high speed, low drag stuff. And I got out in November 2011, but officially February 16th, 2012. After that, I got into sales while I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with my life. I was using the GI Bill. After all the money that I had saved up while I was in the Army started depleting, I was like, fuck, I gotta do something, you know? Yeah. I didn't have a job for a while. I was just like chilling and relaxing. After a while, I was like day trading here and there, making a couple $100, but it wasn't anything substantial. And back then I had this like really cool black 335i coupe, 6-speed manual. It was sick, bro. Nonetheless, it's like I had a high payment on it. It was brand new. And it was like, okay, I gotta get a fucking job, you know? So during summer school in college, I was gonna be a plastic surgeon. And I'll tell you that story, how that happened. But in summer school in college, I was like, man, I need to get a fucking job. So me and my brother are chilling. We're playing Call of Duty on it's like a Sunday, I think. It's like a Sunday, and we got those Mickey's bombers, you know, the ones that have the kind of like they got a quiz under the bottom, a riddle on the top. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Who else drinks malt liquor here? Probably nobody. No, he's like Mickey's. I had never. Yeah. So we were drinking the little baby barrels, and we would make bacon, like literally get a pound of bacon, put it on because back then I had like abs. I was fit, you know. I had abs and shit, and I would like just eat once a day.
Still look good.
Bro, I'm fucking fat, but I appreciate you.
Buns aren't flying at me. That's good.
There you go. I ended up, like telling my brother, hey dude, I need to get a job. And he's like, dude, it's going to be hard unless you become a security guard, do SWAT or something like that. And my uncle, he's a DEA agent in California. In, what is that place called? Whittier. In Whittier, California, does all LA. And he was like, dude, come do SWAT, try out. I'll get you your shoe in with your experience. And I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to shoot any weapons. I didn't want to smell the carbon of, weapons discharging. And I just didn't want to kill nobody. Like, that was the realness. So I told my brother, it's people can't get jobs because they don't want to go outside of their comfort zone. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, everyone wants to do, what they're used to doing. And that's why, like, after the housing crisis, there was still a lot of people that didn't have jobs for years just because they were too fucking lazy or scared or they're overqualified or whatever, and they're going into pre-foreclosure and all that good stuff. And so for me, I just pulled out my iPad, which back then it had that big fat white border on the, and I looked in Craigslist for the first job that popped up here in Phoenix, and it was auto sales. And they got me too. It was like $6,000 guaranteed. I was like, fuck, that's a lot of money. Shit, back then, in retrospect, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Right. $6,000, no experience necessary, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up calling, and I got an interview for the next day, Monday. They won't be able to hear that. And so I set it up. I went, and I aced the interview, got hired, and it turns out that the $6,000 guarantee is like over the course of 3 months, so it's like $2,000 a month. Yeah, they fucking these motherfuckers. But long story short, I ended up like having doubts about sales. My first month, I was terrible. Like, I did one deal, and I ended up getting halved. It was a half deal with another senior salesman. So like, I sold half a car in my first month. It was fucking atrocious. I was like, dude, I just want to hang myself. Like, this is terrible. Long story short, I was like, man, I'm gonna be a financial advisor. So I signed up for JP Morgan Chase, interviewed, passed all that. Like, we can't put you in there just yet. You got to start off as a relationship banker, and then we'll get you your series test and all that good stuff and go up. So I did that, and I told my general manager, he's a managing partner, part owner of the dealership, after the first month, like, yo, I'm gonna head out, And he was like, no, you're a natural. I said, I only sold one fucking car. What do you mean I'm a natural? He's like, no, I know if you put both feet in, that you will crush it, but you gotta like 100%, like, because I would show up like 10 minutes early because it was ingrained in me, and like in the Army, like just like I showed up here like 20 minutes early, but I would leave as soon as the clock was like fucking, my shift was over, I was out that bitch, like fucking a remote start, like set it up, like I'm gone, right? So he was like, dude, just try. I promise you, you're gonna fucking crush it. Give it like 30 days, 60 days, you're gonna crush it. And then after that, if you don't want to be it, then bounce. It's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do it. So I let JP Morgan Chase, hey, I respectfully decline the offer. Thank you for your time. Yeah, and I was like, fuck. But the next month, I made like 7 G's. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I didn't know you could do this, right? And then the next month after that, I made like 11 G's. And then the next month after that, it was 15. And I just kept moving up. Yeah, I just kept moving up. And then finally, it was like, okay, I want to lead a team. So how do I get, and back then I was paying for gurus. I just realized this the other day. Back then, they would pitch it to salespeople. And it was like, you paid, I think it was like $2,500 for this training. And it was at a hotel at like some shitty Hyatt place or something. And they take it out of your paycheck though, over the course of X amount of weeks. Yeah. And it was like a two visit, once a week course thing, like in-person seminar, which is just like every other guru, right? But I did learn a lot, and it really, really helped me start to crush it in sales, and it made me want to like perfect my craft. So I started watching videos all the time. I started, recording myself when I was talking and reviewing my own sales pitches. And it's all stuff that I do now in my consulting business that I apply to other salespeople on how to train them. So ended up working out really good, and I ended up leading a team. And I led a team for 3 months. My team crushed it. After that, they're like, we need you to go into finance. You got the look, you dress nice, you wear a suit. Back then I was like, clean cut. Nobody even knew I had tattoos for like the first 5 years in the business. And, I started making a lot of fucking money. I mean, it's all relative, right? But I was making, 300 plus grand a year just sitting around working a job, W-2. And it was really cool. But I invested in Bitcoin in 2014, and ultimately that kind of changed my life. So when I invested in that, what happened was in 2017, I had a 7,000% ROI on a pretty nice investment. With yeah, this is
Just
the
7,000.
Yeah, so
You know,
I ended up
amazing.
cashing out, and I was still working. I was still going to the dealership every fucking day, working the 13-hour shifts and stuff like that. And people were telling me, even like the general manager was like, dude, why the fuck are you still here? Like, what's going on? And I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
You know, at that time, before that happened with the the rise, I only had like maybe 200K in my account, which is good, but it's still not like enough for me to quit corporate America and move on. Like, I didn't know any better. And everyone's like, dude, you can open a business, you can do this, you can do that. I'm like, dude, I don't know the first fucking thing about that, And long story short, it's my day off. I'm smoking some hookah by my pool and having a margarita. And I was in there in the pool, and I'm like, I call my brother up. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna fucking quit my job. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, bro. He's like, where are you? I'm like, at home. He's like, you're not at work? I'm like, no. He's like, you're gonna quit on your day off? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go in there and quit on my day off. So I like fucking got out, took a shower. I showed up to the dealership, and I walked in and got my box and grabbed all my shit, put it in there, and said bye to everybody. And I told the managing partner, hey man, it was nothing you guys did. I love this this job. I love this environment. Everything here, it's like not the normal car business I came up with. Like when I came up in the car business, it was like bad, dude. It was like fucking cocaine. It was like girls would do down payment couches. Like if they didn't have down payment, be like, oh, like, yeah, bro. Like, yeah, they'd pay in different forms of currency. You know what I mean?
Shit.
It was really bad. But when I went to this group, it was a lot different, and it was good. It was a great environment. It was like a country club. So shouts out to the Larry Miller group. But he understood. He's like, I told him, I just got my reasons. He's like, I know it's probably a couple million reasons why you're leaving. I said, yeah. And so I left, and I just traveled with my family for like 6-7 months. We didn't do shit. We just went to Vegas. We went to Mexico, just vacationing, just traveling. Because honestly, man, like money's cool, right? But what's better than money? Time and experiences, right? Like it's funny. A lot people that have a lot of money don't have a lot of what? Time, right? Because they're expending their time to try and get money. And then people that have a lot of time usually don't have a lot of money. So it's either one or the other. So for me, it's like I love good food. I love hanging out with friends. I like having drinks, food, breaking bread, smoking hookah with friends, and just conversing. So that's what was like my freedom. And after that, it was like, dude, I started fucking just getting bored. I was asleep every day by 1 o'clock on the couch. Like I'd wake up, I would trade a little bit because I was good at trading, which is so boring to me. But I would trade and make a few $100, a couple thousand or whatever I would leverage, and then I'd go hang out in the pool, and my family would wake up, get ready, do all their stuff that they got to do, and I would be drunk and asleep by 1 o'clock. It was fucking bad, man. I would wake up at like 5 and then like just groggy every day. So finally I'm like, dude, I got to get a job. I got to do something, whether it's open a business or get a job. And I started looking into real estate because what did Uncle G tell us? Like, oh, real estate, 10x your life, So I started looking into that, and I'm like, who are the big players here in Phoenix? I Googled it, looking it up, and there's, are you familiar with World Star Hip Hop?
Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah, right? Everybody knows World Star Hip Hop. Okay. So like, I would always see these videos. It was like the self-cut system. It's like 5 mirrors. The dude's like cutting his hair. He's like a barber with like 5 mirrors. And then there was another one. It was like flip houses, no money out of pocket, no credit, da-da-da-da-da. Easy system. We'll teach you how to do it. And it's like a room somewhere in Atlanta. It looks like someone's apartment, and there's like fucking 40 motherfuckers packed like sardines, and they're all sitting there with a like. He's like, I made this $15,000 check with no credit, no money in the pocket. And I was like, what? Come on, man, this shit's a fucking scam.
Right.
Stupid mentality, right? I'm like, this is a scam. Right. So I let that shit go, bro. So like a year later, I Googled it and I found out 2 players. It was like TTP, shout out to Brent Daniels, and Carlos Reyes, all in, shout out to those guys. And I started following them, and I sent them each a message that said like, hey, I'm interested in getting involved in what you're doing. I started answering these questions before Carlos can answer them, and Carlos was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm unemployed. And so I was like, fuck, because you think I'm a loser. Long story short, he's like, send me a DM, brother. I'm like, all right, cool. This was back in the day when he was like gangster Los, you know, fucking pinky ringed out, all black, everything, Rolls Royce, stars in the ceiling, you know, young Dolph bumping in the speakers. And I was like, all right, cool. So I sent him a DM. We started DMing back and forth, and he's like, when can you come to the office? I want to chop it up with you. I'm like, all right, well, tomorrow. What's tomorrow like? Because it was like 7:30 at night. He's like, yeah, come through. So I come through. I sit down. I start chopping it up with them. Carlos is like, bro, you'd be a killer acquisition manager. And Sal's like, no, we need him in business development to help with our software companies, all that stuff. And Sal, you know, he asked me how much I was used to making. I told him I was like, you know, on a shit month, I was like cracking 20-something grand. On a good month, it was like 40-something, you know. And Sal's like, dude, we're just not there yet. This was in January 2019. It's like, we're just not there yet. Or December 2018. We're just not there yet. So I was like, all right, cool, I get it. I'm totally okay with taking a step back to take two forward. You know what I mean? I told him, I expressed this, I think for the first like 6 months, I said this like fucking 1,000 times. Like, luckily, I'm financially stable and I know like how to manage myself, my money, that I'm going to be okay, even if it doesn't work out. Like, I'll be fine. So don't worry. Like, because that's another thing. Like, a lot of people, if they're good CEOs, if they're good business owners, they do take on that added stress and responsibility of their employees, right? Like, it's like, fuck, like, let's say I'm your employee and you're like, dude, I got to make sure Tino eats. He's got a family, he's got kids, he's got a wife, he's got this, he's got that. Same deal. And there's a lot of added pressure, especially if it's a position that hasn't been built yet, right? Yeah. So long story short, I went to acquisitions. The first 2 days, they were like, oh, just shadow this person, this person. No offense to you guys out there, you know who you are, but you were fucking trash. I was sitting next to him and I was like, dude, this is terrible. If this guy's making it, like, I'm about to fucking eat his lunch. Long story short, like on day 3, I was like, I was telling Adrian, like, yo, can I hop on the phones? He's like, oh, we got to check with Lois. I'm like, dude, I can do this. Like, how about this? I won't even call your new leads. Just put me in, like, I'll call the old ones. All right, cool. So I hop in there. The next day, Lois is like, yeah, go ahead, run it. You can just call all these leads. It's like a shitload of leads, right? But they're old leads. And I start calling them, and my first day, I got 2 deals. And then the next day, I got 3 deals. Damn. Yeah, so after that, they're like, no, you're going to do new leads. So I just started doing new leads and just started cranking it. I did 33 deals in 5 weeks, like fucking crazy. Nice. And like they went from doing like, 7 to 9 deals as a company to like over 40 now a month, like overnight. So it just took the fuck off. So this is where it gets serious, right? So I had been there 5 weeks. On a Friday night, I find out that my ex-wife, was cheating on me. This is late Friday night. Monday morning, I fucking filed for a divorce. I told Carlos on Friday night, I'm like, yo, I ran into some personal shit. I'm not coming in tomorrow. Because we were working Saturdays. I said, and it might be permanent. I'm just being honest with you. He's like, whoa, what's going on, brother? Da, 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 da. Like, we're crushing it. I just showed up. We did 33 deals. And now I'm like, yo, time out. I can't fucking work no more. It's like, he's like, what the fuck? So, that happens. I filed for a divorce. We get separated. I'm working that for like a month and a half. Get that all situated. Got full custody of both my kids. Thank you. Shouts out to the judge. Yeah. And long story short, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna come back.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers to that for sure.
It's awesome.
Where's your drink? So then I was like, okay, well, honestly, guys, I'm not gonna come back. I think I'm just gonna move to like Costa Rica or something. Get like a private English tutor or something for my kids and homeschool them, and I'll figure something out. Like, I'm just like, okay, like, it's cheap out there. I can figure out how to make money if I need to, but, I was just ready to just, like, seclude myself from the world. And that's, like, one of my dreams, honestly, is just, like, travel, like, not in the United States, and just live off whatever. And so I tell Carlos that, and he's like, yo, well, I respect it, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what if you come back, and you lead a team? Because you're obviously not being challenged. I'm like, all right, cool. So me and Adrian got a team, and the way we did it was like an NBA draft style. We like lined all these fucking people up, and it's like, you pick, I pick, you pick.
Like dodgeball.
Yeah, like dodgeball. Yeah, dive, dodge, dip, whatever. And he got his team, I got my team, and like my team like did like 5x. his team that month.
Wow.
And after that, I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm done with this shit altogether. Like, this for the birds. Like, no offense, right? It's just I felt like I had done that so long, not that specific acquisitions, but I've done sales so long where it's like, okay, how to lead, let's call it. Like, I've done that so long that it was like, I don't want to do that no more. Like, I want to do something where I can take bigger rips off people's heads. And this is before I knew anything about multifamily, commercial, stuff like that. It was just like single family residential in fucking Georgia or Phoenix, South Phoenix, stuff like that. So I told the guys, you know what else y'all got for me? And Sal's like, I want you to do business development. I'm like, all right, cool. So they showed me the businesses. I'm like, all right, this is how we can take these businesses to the next level, yada, yada. I was excited. I was gung-ho about it. Gave me a new pay plan. And long story short, during that time, one of my buddies had an event that he was throwing. He was in the car business, left the car business, sold all his rentals properties so that he can throw this event. He's like, dude, this is what I want to do. I want to get in the event space. But he didn't really have like connections like that. Like, he's just fucking 42 followers on IG. Like, no, he's not, obviously, I hate to say this, right? But your Instagram's like your resume. People really look at that. When I go to places and they meet me, they're like, oh, what's your IG? They want to size you up. That's what it's about. Right. It's not like they want to connect. They want to size you up to see what you got going on, to see the type of shit you're on. So, when you see somebody that has like 52 followers and they're trying to, sign Grant Cardone to come speak at their event, it's kind of like, dude, are you fucking serious? Like, you know how much I cost? Like, so he bought his way into those circles. He paid $120,000 for him to come speak at his event, right? Oh. Yeah. Wow. And if you don't know about the event spaces, most people that throw events lose money. They lose money on their events, and then they make it up on the back end, like upselling. So luckily, knock on wood, I've been surrounded by people who understand a different method, and we make money on the front and the back. But long story short, I leveraged that relationship that I had with him for years, right? Like, yo, hey, dude, like, it would be cool if he would come to our podcast, like the All In podcast. And I remember he was like, oh, well, I can plug you in with Jared Glant and Ryan Secco. Ryan, I don't know if you know who Jared Glant is. He's like his number 2 guy.
Right-hand man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Ryan Secco he's partners with him on Cardone Capital, and he's his pilot. Like, they're like besties. Wow. So I was like, all right, cool. So he gives me the phone number. I start talking back and forth, and we're able to lock it. It was like, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but it was like 50 racks for them they wanted us to fly out to their headquarters in Miami, 50 racks, and do the podcast there, okay? I ended up getting it down to 15 racks, and they came to us because they were already down here for that event. So we're like, Los was like, bro, if you can get it for for 25, let's fucking run it. Like, we'll pay for lounging, like everything, right? And we were able to get it for 15. He's like, I fucking love you. Gave me a kiss, and we're like, ah. It was like the coolest time. That was like one of my favorite memories in life, honestly, when we did that.
How'd you manage to do that?
Dude, it was crazy.
50 to 15. That's
yeah,
insane.
Bro, it's negotiation, man. I'm like, dude, you're already fucking here. We don't have to pay for the gas for his private jet, like PJ. Like, it's already set. Like, we'll send a Wraith out and a Sprinter. We went and bought the Sprinter specifically to pick up Grant Cardone, and he came in a Suburban. but he was smart. He's like one of those girls when you invite on a date and they want to drive their own car. They don't want to, even though they want to be picked up because it's a chivalrous thing to do, they'd rather drive their own car just in case they get an emergency call where they got to leave, right? So that's what he did, because right on the dot, this motherfucker dipped, like right on the dot. But long story short, we did that, and we were like, yo, this is sick. Like, this put All In on the map. Like, this helped huge for our community. Like, it's a big win for like real estate wholesalers, And so then other people were like, yo, like hitting me up for the plug. I'm like, yo, I can't really give out that information, yada. And it was all types of drama back and forth. But long story short, it was like, hey, let's do education now. Like, let's grow that piece. Like, I think you would kill in that. If you were able to fucking lock down Grant Cardone, like, you should be able to kill in this. I'm like, cool. So we built that thing up, like up. Now there's like all these different programs. There's Executive Elite Mastermind, all types of different things. And honestly, like, that journey, I'm super grateful for that journey. It was years that, it was crazy because, like, I'm going to keep it a buck. During that first year, I didn't make anywhere near what I was used to making. Like, not even fucking close, right? And it's not to take away from those guys. It's just, it was all a new thing. And as we started growing and that department started growing along with it, we started growing that department, I started making more money, you know? And, you know, that it's crazy because everything that I learned in the car business, I applied to this business. And that's ultimately what like has helped me is sell. So like guys out there, if you're not a strong salesperson, I highly encourage you to become a strong salesperson, or partner up with somebody who is a strong salesperson, who's not gonna get greedy. And I'm telling you, like, you will fucking flourish, like thrive beyond your wildest beliefs. But anyway, that has changed my life. And since then, I've built so many relationships.
That was a great plug-in right there. That was a gem.
It's true, man. Like, it's true. Like, my life has gone from like 0 to 100 real quick by becoming good at sales. And you're selling yourself 24/7 when you're talking to the opposite sex, when you're talking to a homeboy, when you're talking to, you know, the concierge downstairs, when you're talking to somebody, the hostess at a nice restaurant that you don't have reservations to. Yeah. Like, that is sales 24/7. Right. You sell yourself with the clothes you wear, the way you talk, your fake teeth, my veneers, you know, the car I drive. Like, it's all sales. So guys, I'm telling you, man, it doesn't matter what kind of job you have. You might have a fucking data entry job, but being good at sales will help you propel anything in every aspect of your life. With the opposite sex, your significant other, with your children, with relationships, friendships, everything. Like, it's changed my life dramatically.
You start to learn yourself a lot better too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. You start to know who you are and what you're capable of, and you really start to realize what's acceptable to you and what's not acceptable. Right. From yourself and from other people. You know, you start to realize what relationships are adding value to you and what relationships are taking away from you. Right. And there's people that will come and go that are like assholes. I like to call them assholes, where they just ask you a bunch of questions and never fucking do anything. And then there's people that will come and humbly ask for your expertise, and they learn it and they go and execute, and then you're like, fuck, man, that's awesome. Like, I helped this guy, and they're like, yeah, thank you, I owe you so much, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wow, literally like something that he could have done on his own, right? If like, people don't know what they don't know. A lot of people just are flying out there, just kind of aimlessly. And they know, like, okay, I go to high school. After high school, it's expected I go to college where I figure out what the fuck I want to do with my life. And then I change majors once or twice. And then when I'm done with that, I graduate and I become an adult. It's real. I got to fucking figure it out. I got to move out of mommy and daddy's, stop sucking on mommy's tit and figure it out, right? And then you start to realize, like, oh shit, the major that she majored in, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no more. Yeah. They look at you funny, right? So then you start to realize, like, that doesn't work. Like, I have to figure out how I'm gonna make it in the real world. And in the real world, I mean, besides becoming a brain surgeon, a doctor, not even lawyers. I won't even say lawyers, because I was a finance manager for multiple years, and I would get lawyers that would come in and buy cars, and they were like, oh, I'm King Dick Dingaling, right? They fill out their credit app, push it to you, and they give you their pay stubs, and you're like, really? Like, I went to a school in fucking Dallas for 2 weeks, and I make more than you. Right. Like, so you start to realize that unless you're like a brain surgeon or a doctor or something like that, you can make more money in sales, and it doesn't just have to be like real estate sales. Real estate just happens to be a vehicle that has higher profit margins, because let's be honest, you can't make $1,000 on a $100 product, right? But you can make $100,000 on $1 million product, right? It's only 10%. Fuck, that's nothing. People will scoff at it. Oh, it's 10%, whatever. But 10% on $1 million is $100,000. Shit, like, the real estate market is crazy right now. Like, people are making so much fucking money. Even in traditional real estate, before it was like wholesalers were like, yeah, like wholesalers don't like real estate agents and vice versa, right? Agents are like, oh, fucking wholesalers are, they're low lives, they're the scum, right? And wholesalers are like, man, real estate agents have no fucking swag. They think they're all cool, but they don't make no fucking money. Da da da. It's the same thing,
Ouch.
But I'm just being honest. Like, that's the typical
that's how it is. Yeah,
perception of I even told you, like, I would like to get my real estate license for shits and gigs, and shit, who knows, bro? People send me properties all the time, like every day, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, here, and I'll send it to somebody else. But
I love what you said about tying, like, connecting with somebody who already does it.
Yeah.
Like tying your ship to another ship, to a bigger boat. to catapult you to that next level. So I love that. Yeah.
Like, so that was the biggest thing when I was with All In. I would get the question all the time from mentees and people I would sign up for. I mean, we're talking like signing people up for like $40,000, $50,000 mentorships, right? Yeah. They're like, dude, like, why don't you do this on your own? Like, I said, you know what? I have the same vision as these guys. And if we're all in the boat rowing together, there's like, no limit to where we can go to, as opposed to just me doing it myself. So, you know, for you, even something as simple as a podcast, for example, like you guys, could you have your own podcast? Absolutely. Yeah. You're animated, you have charisma, you're good looking, no homo. Like, you know, you could have your own podcast, you as well. Yeah. But what? It's better to blend both.
It's the buns, you know.
Right?
It's the buns. What's that?
You're talking about Trunks? Trunks and what's his name, right? When they do, what is it called? Anybody, who knows?
Fusion, something.
Fusion, yeah, it's Fusion.
Fusion.
It's Trunks and somebody else.
Bun Fusion.
Bun Fusion, yeah. Yeah, what's the WOD? Yeah, super. Whenever I see man buns, I think of CrossFit. CrossFit and croissants.
Hey.
But long story short, I'm just hating because I'm bald.
No, whatever works. It's a compliment.
You know, it's a lot of people, like you said, need to just tie their boat to other people. Yeah. There's a lot of egos where they're like, oh, I'm going to make it by myself, especially people that got it out the mud. You know, they have a chip on their shoulder. And it's like, oh, all eyes on me against the world, and fucking Tupac, Scarface. And it's like, dude, it doesn't have to be like that. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like that. Yeah. Shit, you've sent me stuff just, you know, like, here, check this out, da-da-da. I've put you on shit like, here, dude, share this link, you can make money. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to be, feel like you're on your own out there.
Yeah.
And
the pie is infinite.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I like about Phoenix in particular. The real estate community in Phoenix is like, it's got its bad pockets, like where people are haters, right? But for the most part, everyone wants other people to succeed, and they want people to win and prosper and thrive. And that's something that I never saw in the car business, man. Like when I was in the car business in corporate America, it was like cutthroat, like super cutthroat. It's like, oh, if somebody made 40 racks that month, it's like, oh, that could have been me. Like, you know, nice watch, you got a Rolex. Oh, fucking motherfucker. Like they're just fucking haters. It's like, why? Right. It doesn't change your life.
Right. That's really the goal of today's event after the podcast at the rooftop today is for me. I know a lot of people in higher level in their industry, and I want to have the opportunity to bring them together for them to connect. There's no value for me in doing it. I'm spending, you know, money and time and energy to do it, but I want to connect those people because I know that this person and this person could potentially come together, and you know that's going to be massive.
But trust, just in you doing, like, even thinking like that, like, hey, I don't have nothing. There's no hidden agenda. Yeah. I'm not trying to fucking squeeze money out of this person or anything like that. Like, it will come back to you. Right. I promise you.
Absolutely.
Like a billion. I do believe in karma. I do believe in all that shit, right? And I have connected people with other people who, like, this person I know is like really, really good at novation. Okay, I'll just talk about it. Corey Geary, you know Corey Geary?
Yeah.
Fucking awesome guy, right? Great guy. Shout out to Corey Geary. He's like really good at novations. Novation Nation, that's his thing. Like he's super good at it. And somebody asked me, like a mutual friend, hey, do you know anybody who's good at novations? Like, yeah, bro, this is that guy. Like Corey, here's that dude. Like, but you know, he's not gonna donate his time for free. Right. Okay, yeah, plug us in. Plugged him in, and I'm like, yo, this is such and such. Corey's the man when it comes to XYZ, novations. He'll teach you, guide you, da-da-da-da. Think he has a program. It's probably like 3 weeks or something like that. You know, yada, yada. Corey DMs me on the side. He texts me. He's like, yo, I don't have a program like that. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, just fucking put it together. Help the guy out. Like, help him out. He'll give you a raving review. It'll work out. And he's like, okay, well, what do I charge? I'm like, I don't know, 10 grand. Minimum. Minimum's got to be worth 10 grand. Like, what's that information worth to you? Yeah. And he's like, fuck. It's worth millions of dollars. I said, okay, so charge him 10 grand. Dude, the next day, Corey's like, hey, I'm going to Zoe you. And he's owed me a couple G's. It's like, and I didn't expect it. It's just something that it comes back. Because I know that this person would be good for this person. You're just fitting the puzzles pieces together, and you're just a connector.
You just created value out of thin air.
Yeah.
Like, they needed this, he needed that. And you connect them, so it's a win. It's a total win because without that, they would both. Yeah.
And you know what? Like Terry Summers He's a great guy. I love the guy. He's my brother. He told me something that I'll never forget. He's like, you know what? He's a very nice and giving guy, especially a guy at his level. He's super high level. He would tell me like, all I'm doing is just collecting favors without like remembering. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, whenever I do something nice, man, it comes back later on, and I forget, but it's a favor because I helped somebody else out. And it's true. Like, if I just keep helping people out with their goals, with whatever it is they're trying to do, dude, it comes back. Like 100% comes back. And I realized that, like, obviously you're never going to be the biggest fish in a pond. You don't want to be the biggest fish in a pond. And that's good that you're putting all these bigger fish together in your pond, right? But, you know, as long as you're always willing to learn and to help other people out, it comes back, man. Absolutely. It comes back, you know, a billion times fold. And it's insane, man, that a lot of people don't get that. It's the me mentality, right? And everyone sees all the shit on Instagram, like, you know, people whipping supercars and doing this and doing that, and they're like, oh man, I can do that too. I'm gonna get it out the mud and all this shit, right? But at one point, no one's self-made. Like, at one point they had help from somebody. Somebody gave them the olive branch. It was like, here, I can help you with this if you help me with this. Or not even expecting it something. But people just close themselves off, and they're trying to do everything on their own, and that's why they end up spending more time, sweat equity, money, and not getting to where they need to get. And I will say this, I attribute a lot of my success personally, and I've seen this many times. People's success has been attributed to paying somebody else for knowledge, for shortcuts, right? Because they already did the trial and error, or just through relationships. Like, you know, I've made relationships with people that I've helped them wholesale deals, like from scratch, where they like didn't even know anything about wholesaling. Right. They're fucking, you know, they own a noodle shop or something, or a taco place, and they're like, yo, I want to get into real estate. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, this is what you do X, Y, Z. Come over to my house. I'll help you with acquisitions training. I'll teach them acquisitions a little bit, and they end up doing good, you know? Just because I know that later on, this dude's not going to forget about me. He's going to be like, yo, this is the guy that fucking put me on. So he's going to be, you know, at his wedding or something. He's going to be fucking balling. It's going to be like a scene out of some movie, and he's going to bring me in. And this is a guy who helped change my life, you know? Right. And that's the greatest feeling in the world, man. No amount of money in your bank account can replace that.
I talk about this all the time, and I tell it to my team. It's like, there's a story that a really good mentor of mine told me once. He said, if your car stops on the freeway and you get out and you stick your finger out, what are the chances of somebody stopping and helping you out? They're very low.
Yeah,
you might get a very, very nice person who has time that will stop and
it depends what side of town you're in.
He says, but start pushing your own car on the freeway or on the road, and see how many people are going to jump out of their car and start helping you do it.
Yeah.
And that's very, very true, because
that is true.
I get a lot of people that contact me all the time in the DMs, and people that I see that I know I'm involved in real estate and flipping and, you know, all these different things, and they just want to leech on you with that information, right? But there's very distinct few people that, you know, that try to figure out for themselves, right. And you can see them climbing and they're trying, and then they come across you and they're like, yo, like, you give me that piece of nugget,
it's effort.
Right?
It's
effort. It's effort, right?
Yep.
They have courage. And Carlos said this the other day on one of his meetups somewhere out of state. He said, success doesn't take time, it takes courage. Yeah. And I couldn't agree with anything more, because it absolutely is true. You shouldn't wait for somebody to spoon feed you the information. Just like you shouldn't wait for somebody to let you into the table. Right? Go fucking make your own table, or buy yourself into the table if you got the money. It's all about the learning curve, right? Expediting that learning curve. What you just did for that guy with the Novation is you catapulted their career, because
take the elevator, not the stairs.
Boom.
1,000%.
That's it. And that's key, especially in scaling business.
It's funny you say that, because like I will get people that will DM me. Like, I had somebody today, who hit me up this morning and was like, hey, do you offer a mentorship program? I'm like, hey, let's hop on a phone call tomorrow. Because I want to see what he's doing, what he's got going on. Like, I'm not just going to take money from somebody who I know probably doesn't have a high chance of success just because they want to buy their way in. Like, obviously,
most people
money
will, though.
helps.
Most people will just take them.
Most people will.
spoon feed them information. And
it's not going to change my life.
Yeah.
You know, I was just being honest. Like, it's not going to change my life to take the guy's money.
Right.
But, you know, I'd rather have somebody who, if I outline my expectations, because if I'm like training you or if I'm like mentoring you or something like that, like it's tough, man. Like, I'm like your sales manager. Like, I'm hitting you up 3 times a fucking day. Like, what are your stats? What are you doing here? Like, what do you got cooking? I'm like a sales manager. What do you got cooking? How close are we on this? Like, how come you're only pacing, you know, this much money instead of this much money? Like, I'm breaking it down to the granular. But long story short is there's a lot of people that just think that they can just ask you, like, let me pick your brain. Let me do this. Let me do that. And it doesn't work like that, because you're going to waste your fucking time.
They won't even do this.
They
stuff
won't
that you
do
tell
it.
them.
That's what I'm
if
saying.
they're coming
Exactly.
with that attitude, you already know. I'm going to tell you all this information. You're probably going to even argue with me on some of the stuff or question
Isn't it easier if I do this?
and then you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then that happens enough times where you're just like, look, we're not going to do this.
Pound sand.
Because you have to think about the time, right? Like you said it when you opened up. You said it's not about the fucking money.
No,
like, the money we can make, but it's the time, and that is why, you know, the difference between you and somebody who's just starting in a business. The only big difference is your decision, your time to make decision.
Yeah.
Your ability to make decision and how fast you do it.
Exactly.
That's the key.
Well, and it comes from experience, right?
Right.
With trial and error. Like, hey, last time I remember this situation, I did this and it fucked up, so maybe I'll do the opposite, or vice versa. So, like, a lot of people don't understand that you just can't hit somebody up and ask them for the world. Like, when people say, oh, yeah, you know, they try to negotiate me on my services, I tell them, you know, like, they're like, oh, it's only for fucking, you know, it's only 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, well, it's not for 2 weeks. It's for the, you know, 15 years that I had to get kicked in the fucking nuts and the teeth every time, hearing no, fuck off, lose my number, you're fucking smoking crack.
Yeah.
You know, suck a dick, all this stuff that I heard for 15 years condensed, and you're getting only the gold. Like, think about this. You could go to the Congo Basin and go out there and start mining for gold and do all that shit, right? Or you could go to London Jewelers. It's the best. And then you pull up and you can just buy a ring there. What you're doing when you're coming to me is you're fucking buying a ring. Right? I'm going to show you how to sift through that, but I'm going to show you all the shortcuts, right. all the machines, all the, you know, the automation that it takes to have less drama and more results. So when people are like, yeah, well, how about this? Can you do it for $7,500? I'm like, it's okay. This isn't for you. If anything changes,
they start to think about time and money. They start to think about money more than time.
Exactly.
Like for me, that changed not too long ago. Honestly, like I stopped thinking. I was thinking more about money than time, because I was like, I gotta make more.
It's a scarcity mindset.
Yeah, scarcity
mindset.
Versus now, it's an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
Now, wherever I can put my money to save me time, that's what I'll do.
1,000%.
And then now, as a business owner, I talk about this with you all the time. Is like I look at how much am I making an hour? What's my worth? And is what I'm doing worth what I'm getting paid?
You're like, if I can pay somebody else to do this shit down here and focus on this stuff, then even though it's going to cost me X amount, but I have the potential to make way more over here. Right. Yeah. So like some of this stuff, you know, like I just won't do. Like, it's just not worth my time. Yeah. I'd rather not do anything but sit on a couch with my kids. You know. Then do that. It's just not worth it. So like some of the things I delegate to workers, I delegate to my brother. Not that he's lower level.
Shout out to your brother.
Shout out to my brother.
He's awesome.
I love that guy. Yeah. You know, like I'll just be like, here, set it up, I'll close the deal, and you go do it. If they need, you know, me to come, I'll come, whatever. Because we have a consulting firm, and it's like, okay, cool. But you know, it's like for me, it's like when I wake up in the morning, I have my girlfriend, she manages my schedule, and I look at it every day, and she puts the shit in there, and I'm like, okay, this is what I got to do. I'm like, all right, what's gonna make me the most money fastest, right? And I start saying, okay, well, is it possible that I can move this up forward? And it's my brother's like, oh, that's crazy, bro. Like, you're trying to like force stuff. I'm like, I'm not trying to force stuff. I just like would rather be more productive in the morning and work on shit that's gonna bring me more money than try to like push through this lower level shit to start with and then do that. Like, I'd like to prioritize my day like that. That way, if for some reason by the end of the day, I'm not on point anymore. At least it's the lower level shit. You know, it's a low hanging fruit.
Money making activities, baby.
Money making activities. Thank
MMA.
you, bro. Thank you. I love that. That's my favorite saying, like money making activities. I'm always like, yo, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Because if we're sitting and it's like, okay, we're gonna have a meeting and we're bullshitting and we're like, oh, did you see such and such, man? That looked like ass shots of me. Like, bro, I don't care about that. Like, what are we talking? Like, if we're gonna hang out, bro, I'd rather hang out at home.
Right.
With a hookah and a drink.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But if we're here, we got to make money. That's why I had to get an office. I was working from home and it was cool, making good money. But it's like, it's hard. It's a distraction. It's so easy for me to say, you know what, I'm just going to fucking wear sweatpants today.
Right.
I'm just going to put sweatpants on and I'm just going to walk out there or my underwear and get on the computer, do a little work. And I'm not going to go on Instagram and pick.
Especially your house. Your house is sick, bro. But he's got this like car set up with like the steering and the pedals and the fucking TV.
It's real easy to get distracted.
I get distracted, bro.
I have like a fucking projector and a big ass wall playing games.
Also, the man's an artist. I gotta shout you out, though, bro. You got some beautiful art pieces in your place.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
I picked it up during COVID. In 2020, like during the lockdown, I'm like, man, I've always wanted to paint. I've always been into art. I used to draw with graphite and charcoal. My mom was a single mom raising us, so we couldn't afford.
That's
your book
right there.
Nice. I'm gonna have to check it out. We couldn't afford to do paint because paint's expensive. Like the canvases, all that shit. It's a very expensive hobby. And you know, now as an adult, thankfully, I'm able to afford that stuff. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try it out. And I fell in love, man. I started painting and all that good stuff. And I got a bunch of unfinished things. And I start to realize, like, as I like go through that journey, that's a completely separate journey. I start to like evolve there. You know, shit that I thought was cool when I first started painting is not cool. I'm like, man, this is fucking trash.
Right.
Like I could do it like this. And why do I feel that way? Because of, you know, being a product of your environment.
Right.
You know, also because I'm studying art. Like I'm actually taking it upon myself to get better at my craft. And art doesn't even pay me. There's people that have offered, like, you know, people in the space and real estate, hey, I'll pay you for this painting and stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm going to keep it. You know, thousands of dollars. I'm like, dude, I'm not an artist like that where, you know, I'm doing commissioned paintings.
Yeah.
I'll keep it. But it's like, I still want to be better at what I'm doing. I always want to try to be the best I can be, not better than everyone else. Just what I can
when you
be.
picked it up.
So I watch videos.
Yeah, when you picked it up during COVID, because you're this alpha entrepreneur, like go, money making activities, like you're grinding. Your energy is always like very uplifting, and I see you even back when you were with the All In guys and you were promoting the big events, like fucking nice suit, clean. You know, you were pushing that, and that's why you're the shark, because you're really go getter. But how did that outlet change your perspective on things?
It's so relaxing.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'll just put on like my beautiful twisted, you know, put on Kanye's album.
Beautiful Twisted Fantasy,
yeah,
baby.
bro, my favorite album of all time. And I'll listen to, you know, Led Zeppelin, my favorite band. You know, I'll just put that on. I'll listen to Frankie Ocean, just let that play, and I'll just paint, man. And nothing in the world matters. Like, you totally just like, you know,
right,
okay, for you, that's probably your outlet. It's probably working out, right?
Working out,
music
right? Back in the day too, but that flow state where you're present, you don't notice.
You put your headphones in, you start working out. You're like in another dimension.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it's like, fuck, dude, I've been here an hour, and you're just like in the zone. So like that's how painting is for me. Like I know, like I won't start a painting or continue a painting unless I know I got no prior commitments, like nothing.
Coming up right now, we're going to discuss a couple of different things that my man Tino, the Shark, has been up to recently. And that's crypto, huge crypto play, huge Amazon plugins, Amazon stores, a lot of crazy stuff that you need to hear about. So stay tuned. A lot of sales tactics that are going to help you get to that next level, sharpen your tools so that you're more effective to help you and serve the people around you. So stay tuned, guys.
So for me, like a lot of people's podcasts, and this is another thing I don't like about podcasts.
Yeah.
I'll say this because you asked me before what I don't like about podcasts. One thing I don't like about podcasts is when people go on podcasts and just tell their fucking story. Like, which I have been doing thus far.
Right.
Like, it's cool, right? People want to kind of know who you are. But most of the time, and this is going to sound really pretentious, but most of the time, people already know who you are.
Right.
That's why you're on the podcast to begin with, right? Because people know who you are. But what people want to know is like, why are you there?
Right.
What did you do to get there?
Right.
You know, what are you good at? I could be like, oh yeah, he's a sales master. Okay, so fucking teach me something. You know? So like that's why I like usually if there's an audience or if there's people in the chat or if you guys have any questions, like how do you get good at? Like what are some things that obviously even me, and I don't consider myself like the best sales guy in the world. I just consider myself somebody who really tries to get better over and over and over again at everything I do, especially when it comes to sales. What are some things that you feel that are your bottlenecks? Like, what would help you get better at what you're doing?
So in my business, I think the biggest knot that I'm trying to untie is creating a system where I can bring people or scale my operation. So right now I'm in that stage where I've got about 8 to 10 people, but I find myself being more hands-on with them than focusing on like production. Right? Because I still got to be the closer.
100%.
So,
So how can you let go and delegate to that without losing? So that's a tricky one, right? Because like people like to think that lead flow is the hardest, systems is the hardest, processes, all the nerd shit. And I'm a nerd, so I can say that, right? All the nerd shit is the hardest stuff, but it's really not.
Yeah.
The hardest part is people.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, man, you could, with enough bankroll, you can bankroll all that shit.
Yeah.
You can pay somebody who will come in, put all that stuff together, or pay for someone's knowledge, but you can't pay for people, unfortunately, right? So like, you have to train people.
You could probably put that here, bro. Sorry to cut you off.
You got to train people, and with that comes kissing a few frogs before you get a prince. Yeah. So like unfortunately, you got to kiss a few frogs before you get a prince. So that's the hardest part is like actually getting people that are willing to roll with the punches, because
Absolutely.
no one's gonna walk in and be a fucking superstar,
Right.
ever. Like no matter if they're plug and play salespeople, like that just need product knowledge and process information, they're still gonna need training, whether it's remedial or preventative. So people is the hardest thing, because you're gonna get people that are gonna come and go 24/7, and you're gonna get people that do the job, but they're not doing it to the best that you would like them to do,
Right.
because nobody cares more about your money than who.
Me.
You.
Right.
So you got to find people that will treat your business like it's theirs, like they have a seat at your table, and it's essentially all your table. So unfortunately, no matter how hard you try to train somebody, they're never gonna be 100% like you. Like you'll never be able to clone yourself. Like you'll never be able to clone yourself. You might be able to get 80% to 85%, which is great, but you're never gonna get 100%. Right. So what you have to do is make sure that when you're bringing someone in and you're training them to be able to mitigate all that extra shit that you don't want to handle, because you want to handle higher level stuff, that they are capable. They're a representation directly of you, right? In skill set, in decision making, and all that good stuff. So it's training, man. It's all training,
Right.
and it sucks because sometimes you're like, man, I'll just fucking do it myself.
Right.
But no one's ever going to get better that way. And you're never going to scale that way, as if you're like, hey, well, I'm the closer, I got to take care of it.
Right.
Like, that's
It's
hard.
definitely not a problem for me because I enjoy helping people.
Right.
And I enjoy setting the expectation for how I conduct my business.
So it has
I
to
always
be-
tell them like, hey, your goal is to speak with my mouth, listen with my ears, and think with my brain and see with my eyes. And that's
strong.
It's not going to happen 100% of the time.
Never.
But the goal is to get you to the point where you have enough tools in your belt so that you're able to execute
that
based on
in this situation, this is what Ahmad would do.
Right.
In this situation, this is what Ahmad
What would
would
Jesus
do. Right. WWJD, right? So, like, with that comes training. But
Right.
I had a good point when you were saying that. The problem comes where you start to get people that come and you have to train them yourself, and it takes away from your daily duties or things that you have to do. So with 8 to 10 people, you're going to have to eventually find somebody that you can delegate that to.
Right.
Not a specific task or a daily thing, but like a sales floor. Like, okay, well, this guy's in charge of this operation, right? And that's hard because
I saw that. Sorry to cut you off. I saw this this video today. It said that, hey, are we living in an automation? Okay, and it's funny to think about because each one of us has a business, and each one of us has a way of conducting your business, and you've created this universe, right? You've created this reality for you
within our business.
You have a daily routine. You have people that do tasks for you that you know. This is your identity. This is your brand, and that is how we live our life every single day. Even if you're outside of sales, even if you're not an entrepreneur, right? 1,000%. You have this identity and you have this reality that you live, and it's automated in a way, right?
Yeah, kind of.
And companies come along and they make it more automated, more convenient, more seamless. Then you give them your money, right? Amazon, Netflix,
to help
Uber,
automate even more.
To help automate your life even more.
That's true.
So you're just like in this never-ending cycle of automating. And I've realized this in my business. The key, though, is not to hire one person and then build a department or a project around this one person. The key is to create it and then plug somebody into that system. And Sal really put this into perspective for me because he's a big fucking systems guy. That guy's a genius.
He is.
But like, it's absolutely true because a lot of times, especially when you're first starting, you hire people based off of your energy and their energy, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna build this, we're gonna grow this, we're gonna scale this, and it's gonna be great. But then you start doing it, and then you're confused, and then they're confused, and then nobody knows what they're doing. There's no system, there's no foundation. But then, so because I was with a team, and I was with a real estate team doing retail stuff, and I saw chaos.
Right.
I saw this organization and lack of training, a lack of structure. And it made my life more difficult, even as a member of that culture. So I realized that clarity is more important than the motivation.
1,000%.
Having people know where you're headed, seeing the target, and then having systems, but departments that are already established, and then you bring somebody and you plug them in. Therefore, if they get tired or they don't perform, then they're out. Instead of spending... You saw this, right, with All In? You guys trained people for months.
Yeah.
And then one day they wake up and they're like,
this ain't for me.
I got a divorce. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like your whole business is dependent on this individual to run your business, and that is a weak point. That can be a bottleneck.
It is. That is definitely a bottleneck, and that's why I say the hardest part is people, because unfortunately people have different things. They have their own universe within their own person,
absolutely,
their own circle of influence, if you will. Things that might happen to them, their life experiences, situations that have come up.
Yeah.
Like one of the problems that I always had was with people when I was leading the team was like, oh, my kid's sick, and it's like, dude, are you a fucking doctor? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna stay home with your kid, and what are you gonna do? Like, give them a cup of 4 ounces of medicine every 4 hours, and so you should probably make more money to be able to take care of your kid,
right?
So like things like that is stuff you'll run into, like especially with salespeople, right? You can't pet every cat the same, right?
I like that.
You can't, dude. You can't. You absolutely can't. It's just never gonna work out. Salespeople are really like this.
Yeah.
Salespeople are like this for the most part. Good salespeople, right? There's good salespeople that can turn it off and on, and people that can't. And they're always going through shit, family problems, stress, yada, yada, yada. And sales is kind of like their outlet. You're going to run into people that no matter how good they are at what they do, how much money they make you got to cut ties with them.
Right.
Because that one person can topple everything you're working with just because they become a cancer, and it could fuck up everything.
Right.
So, yeah, 100%. People is the hardest part. And I get a lot of people that are like now going to like the virtual model. And I think personally, this is just my personal opinion, not shooting shots at anybody. I think that is just a lack of being a good leader. I think you should have an in-house business with people in-house as well as virtual, as to augment that. Because there's nothing, I'm telling you right now, there's nothing like having a sales force or a group of individuals that is winning together in person, where you guys
they can see each other, feel the energy.
Where you guys are fucking high-fiving. Hey, let's go to Culinary Dropout and have some drinks. Like, yeah, let's celebrate it. We had a good month. Like, you can't really do that virtual. I saw somebody the other day on a IG story, like banging the gong for their people on a virtual thing. I was like, what the fuck? That's terrible. It works, right? You're making money, but it's fucking terrible. Like, imagine the cost of opportunity too. Like, So I have a wholesaling company with my girlfriend. We're 50-50 partners. And she's like, oh, we should do the virtual model. I'm like, fuck no.
Shout out
Like,
to America.
Shout out to America.
She's
Love you, man.
badass.
I'm like, fuck no. She's like, why not? It's working. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's working for certain people and it works. It would work for us too. But I think that there's no substitute for in-person sales training, in-person people, in-person accountability. Think about it this way, man. If I have you in the same building as me in the same fucking office and I'm like, yo, what's going on with this deal? What's going on with this deal? What's going on with this? Like, yo, here, put her on speakerphone. Let's talk to her. Like it's harder to do that when you got somebody in fucking Costa Rica calling.
Absolutely,
people,
yeah. And the truth is, like, we've seen this with data, right? With end buyers, wherever everybody's running to, right? You want to run the other way.
The opposite way.
You want to run the opposite way. That's where you get the most advantage.
Yeah.
And I see this all the time because my market is primarily Phoenix.
Right.
That's all I do. 'Cause I've sold real estate here. I know. I grew up here. I went to high school downtown, so I know the areas very well. So I have a leverage, an advantage over somebody who's calling, trying to lock up a deal online.
Yep.
Because guess what? My sales has always been in person. I'm a realtor.
Exactly. You can go belly to belly with somebody. You say, hey,
Exactly.
I can be there in 15 minutes. I'll pull up on your ass.
Absolutely.
Boom. You pull up, you talk. Hey, look, I'm a real person. I'm real.
Absolutely.
I don't know, bro. If I was a homeowner, this is just me being honest. Somebody fucking called me and they're like, yo, I want to buy your house all cash, blah, 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 blah. You know, the whole spiel. No realtor fees, no this, no closing costs. And they're like, yeah, just go ahead and sign this fucking DocuSign. I'd be like, suck my dick. Like, that's fucking weird.
It's the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
It really is. And we talk about this, right?
Dude, you're not going to get some
It's the
savvy person.
Yeah, you're not.
Who's going to be like, no,
I promise you
no,
not.
bro. It's just not going to happen. But, ultimately, like, I just feel like having an in-person, and I've thought about this. My girls even told me, like, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you focus? Because, like, truthfully, honest to God, I built the wholesaling company just so that we have something together. So that she has something to do. So she's, like, part of my world, too, Because she supports me. She's, like, my biggest fan. But a lot of stuff she just didn't understand. And even though she tried to, I'm, like, trying to explain to her. I'll make jokes, like, seller jokes. And she's like, what the fuck? Everyone's like, and she's just like, oh. But so she's a saleswoman naturally by trade. So I'm
That's
like, dude,
awesome.
let's just train her on acquisitions. We'll go 50-50 partnership. And she's like, I don't even need 50%. I said, no, I want you because I'm not going to do a lot of work. Like, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And she's like, why don't you just build a whole team? Like, you can build a team right now. If I posted on Instagram, hey, I'm looking for fucking 4 in-house salespeople. Must be local, and you must be get ready because I'm gonna kick you in the fucking balls for 2 weeks straight while I'm training you. But you're gonna fucking thank me when it comes time to pay your commission check. It was always like that. My brother, when he worked for me as a salesperson, when we were in the car business, he was, he thought he was my brother. I was gonna treat him, good. And now, man, I made him cry in front of fucking 25 salespeople. Like, made him literally shed tears, like this fucking 220-pound guy, And it's just because, like, I want you to get good at what you're doing. I want you to be the best you can do. And if I feel like you can be better, then you're going to fucking be better. Or you're going to give up on yourself. And that's the worst. You can give up on me, but if you give up on yourself, you're fucked. It's
you
true.
need that tough love. You need that.
It's tough love, man. And now the guy's doing great, man. He drives a supercar. He's fucking living life.
Absolutely.
But, ultimately, I think about that. I'm like, man, why don't I fucking do this? Why don't I, rent a bigger office, hire some people, because I can go on Instagram right now and by tomorrow I'll have fucking people packed in the office for interviews. And it's like, I could do that, but then I'd be focusing on most of my time on that. And it's money making activities. Not saying that wholesaling is like not a lot of money, because there's tons of money.
Yeah.
But for me, it's got to be a mixture.
Yeah.
It's got to be a mixture of like making money while having a great time while doing it. And I have a better time talking to business owners than I do talking to customers. B2B is better to me. It's funner to me. Funner's not a word, I get it. Than B2C. So, like, for me, I'd rather sell somebody a $50,000 mentorship or a passive income vehicle than, buy a house from somebody who's trying to move back to Georgia or some shit.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So, what are some of the things that you're doing today that you're heavily invested in, that you can plug
Sure.
people into, and tell us a little bit more about that.
So let's start with Amazon. So in October, I hosted. I was the host for Plugged In event at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. That was in October, end of October. Me and Chris kind of made an agreement because he wanted me to do that for him. I told him I would do it for him if he made me an affiliate for Amazon, like a true affiliate, not like a peewee affiliate, but a real affiliate. And we came to an agreement. We did it, and I did that. We crushed that event, and we did upsells for a mentorship program that I put together.
Congratulations.
Crushed it. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
After that, it was like, okay, let's go. And he's like, yeah, let's do a webinar and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, I want to go check out your operation. Because like one thing about me is that I will never put my name on something or promote something that I don't feel 100% comfortable with, that people are actually going to get value from it, or it's something that's legit.
Right.
Just for a simple fact that, like, I'm well known in the space, pretty well known. Like, all the gurus know who the fuck I am.
Absolutely.
And people, followers and stuff. And like, I don't want to put my stamp of approval on something that later on people are gonna be like, yo, well, Tino, you're the one who put me on this. I never, and I've ran into that situation before, and it wasn't a good feeling. So like, it's something I'll never do again. But long story short, I went to his office and checked out the whole operation. He opened up his books. He showed me shit that he probably wasn't allowed to be showing me because people's personal stuff. But dude, they manage over now 1,100 stores, and we did a affiliate partnership with them. And like, I've been averaging like 5 to 7 stores a week now. Like,
wow.
Yeah. And what it is it's completely turnkey passive income. Like, Amazon's not going anywhere, right? It's the biggest marketplace in the world, fucking multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, and you're just getting a small slice of the pie. There's people that are making $3,000 a month in passive income, and there's people that are making upwards of $20,000. It all depends on your line of credit, and we handle everything for you. The beauty of it is like, you could have rentals, and those rentals, like, you're gonna need a lot of rentals to get to like $15,000 a month in passive income. Not to mention all the credit card points you're going to get, the headache with tenants and management companies, all that good stuff, right? With this, it's pretty fucking cutthroat, like pretty like cut and dry. I mean, and the cool thing about it is like, I've always thought it was a scam. Not going to lie, bro, for years, and I was surrounded by people that were calling it scams and stuff like that in the past. So for me, it was like, I got to see, touch, and smell to believe guy. I'm not a huge guy on faith. Right. I'll say that. I'm not a huge faith guy. I gotta touch it, smell it, feel it. Like, it's all logic to me. Most of my closes when it comes to negotiating are all logic closes, because like, when men lie, women lie, money,
right.
Numbers don't lie, right?
Numbers don't lie. So
I went, I checked everything out, and it worked. It's all depends on who's managing your store. So I've been doing that, and I have a team of. It started off with 21 people, but not all of them hung around. I got probably a good solid 8 people that send me stores on any given day. So it's crazy, man, because I pay them quite a bit. There's people that are wholesalers that make more from selling Amazon stores now from referrals, and I'll hop on a phone call and close them if they need help and stuff like that. But it really is a good thing for passive income. I get passive income from it, and we're gonna buy. Me and my brother are gonna go halves on getting my mom one. Because she wants one. She doesn't know this yet, but she doesn't pay attention to shit. So we're gonna get my mom one. But it's good. That's one of the things I'm doing. I was also doing consulting for a while. I've been like the guru's guru for a while, where I help them, set a education platform, a whole like roadmap of what they should be doing to collect leads, data, all that good stuff, plug it into an event if they want to throw an event. Just depends on what their expectations are or their goals, right? So I've been doing that. People will fly me out. I'll go there for a few days, train their salespeople, like their fucking, high level mentorship education salespeople, and then I'll spend a couple days with the actual guru and tell them, hey, this is what you need to be doing, da 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 da, you need to change this to that, da da da. And I've been doing that for a while, and now me and my brother started a consulting firm together, where now it's like I'm going or dispatching him, or he's going, or vice versa, to people's businesses, and we'll train their acquisitions managers in person for 2 days straight and then spend a day with the CEO to build out everything like SOPs, KPI metrics, compensation plans, bonuses, everything from scratch, like everything. And of course, if it's not broken, we don't fix it. But, a lot of salespeople get comfortable. A lot of salespeople, doesn't matter what industry you're in, you can be better than what you are. It doesn't matter. I could be better at what I am.
Right.
You could be better, right? Like salespeople get comfortable because let's face it. If you make $20,000 a month, the proof of concept's there. You can continue to do it over and over and over again without fail. Now, what's gonna make you raise your level to $30,000 a month and make that the new norm? It's not gonna be by being comfortable.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, being uncomfortable is what makes you break to that next level, because we all have our little glass ceilings. Like for me, I didn't even think it existed to make this kind of money prior to entrepreneurship. Like it was unreal to me. Then I start meeting all these fucking bozos who are like, oh yeah, I just closed $100,000 deal. Oh, they don't even know how to fucking tie their shoes. I'm like, dude, this motherfucker can do it. This dude with the Edgar haircut and the fucking like what? How is this guy do? Like this dude. I wouldn't even invite him over for dinner. Like, how is he crushing it?
Yeah.
And it's not to hate on somebody. It's just proof of concept to me that, wow, shit, I can do that. I can
That's
do
so
this.
true. Just playing the right game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Playing a different, bigger game. There can be someone that doesn't have that skill set that you have, and you see is crushing. And you're like, man.
Dude, but the opportunity for exponential growth is huge. Chris the Shark, Chris Gomez, shouts out to him. I've known him for like 4.5 years. He told me one time, he's like, hey, dude, we're good?
Yeah.
They told me like, hey, like, you're extremely talented. You're a multiple 7-figure earner. You're just not in the right vehicle. Like you're redlining a Prius. Like, you would be right now in like fourth gear in a Ferrari, and then you'd be getting started, which is 100% true. I see people that are like 7-figure earners that are working at T-Mobile, and they don't know it yet because what do they say? You don't know what you don't know. It's the vehicle. Like, bro, I've had like pretty big days before where it's like, fuck, dude, this weekend I made 6 figures. From multiple streams, for multiple things. And it's like, okay, I didn't even know that was possible. And I think about like the shit I was doing prior. It's like, in order for me to make that, I would have to hit these numbers that are just completely unrealistic. Like, it's just, I don't have enough time. Not that my skill sets, even if I had the best skill set in the world and I batted 100 out of 100. Like,
sell 200 Kias.
Yeah, exactly.
1,000
It
Kias.
would never happen.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't know that, and so you're right. It's the vehicle. Like, people need to get in the right vehicle and find the vehicle that suits them. Their like what they like to do, what they genuinely enjoy, their lifestyle, and their income.
Man, it's crazy because the more entrepreneurs I meet and the more success I visually see with people, like, people ask you what you do for a living because they want to size you up, just like you said.
1,000%.
They want to check your Instagram because they want to see how much respect they want to give you.
Yeah,
right?
it's fucked up.
It is fucked up, but that's just how the world
But
works.
it's life, yeah.
Somebody told me this and it fucked my head up. It always stuck with me. He said, one man's ceiling is another man's floor.
1,000. Oh, that's so strong, bro. It's true, man.
One man's ceiling is another man's
Because
floor.
a person making 6 figures, that might be like terrible for guys like us.
That's a bad week. A bad weekend.
Exactly. So you got. That's 100% true.
That's why it's best to be humble too, because your flex could be like for someone
yeah.
else.
My Apple Watch.
Your personal best is somebody's warm up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Someone's PR is your fucking warm up.
But there's another truth to that, and nobody that's doing better than you, or that's in a higher scale or more success, that is actually going to look down at you and say like, "Oh,
or try to
I'm better than you." You know?
shit on you.
It's always like, "Yo, like there's
the guy
value
here
in
is
there."
hating on this dude.
It's always the other way around. But those guys up there, if they're genuine, like your energy, you're always presenting with value. You're always coming forward with value. Even the things that you were doing with the all-in, and now, like, it's not bullshit. Like, this is real shit. This is true. 15 years in the making, compressed to 2 weeks or 1 week or 2 days, and it's that valuable time.
that's worth a lot of fucking money for people.
That's the way
Because
I look at it.
you could spend the next 6 months to 12 months going through the journey and falling on your face over and over, and
doing
then
it
trying
the wrong
to.
way. And then what's the worst case scenario? You quit. But you were fucking destined to fail before you even started.
Right.
That's the hard part, man. Like, I look at my time in the military, like, that groomed me for real. Because when I was in the car business, man, there was so many people that would come and go. It was like a revolving fucking door.
Yeah.
And like, nobody really made it successful. But I have friends that are still successful. They're still in the car business, or they moved on to bigger and better things, and we're still in contact. But like, I know that had I not been in the military, like, that experience, that tenacity, that go-getter mentality, I wouldn't have applied that to the car business. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Who knows what I'd fucking be doing? Who knows? Like, I'd probably be doing construction or some shit, like something
Dude, yeah,
that's
absolutely.
fucking, you know,
one of my favorite affirmations every morning, little secret, is I am exactly where I need to be.
ooh, that's strong.
I
like
am
that.
exactly where I need to be, because everything, like, bro, my first podcast, we talked about this. Like, I've been through the war.
Yeah.
I've been on the other side of where you were, and every single thing that happened to me, everything that I saw, no matter how bad it is or how young I was, it's okay. I wouldn't change a thing about that.
It shaped you.
Shaped me into the man that I am today.
1,000%. 1,000%. Like, you know, I truly believe, like, I'm not, like, mindset is extremely important. Extremely important. Because you got to get yourself ready.
Right.
You got to get yourself in the right state, the right mind frame. But what's important is what you do after. What you actually execute. A lot of people will spend so much fucking time on mindset and then not do anything. Like I was saying, the assholes earlier, like, they're like, oh, like, analysis, bro. Oh, I got analysis, but they're the people that love to ask a question at a fucking meetup or something. Yeah. Oh, I have a question for the guy. Oh, what's the best less to pull? What should I be pulling? And what skip tracing company? And they haven't even started, bro. Right. And they're talking, like, they haven't made one phone call, and they're talking about when a seller says that they'd rather list it. What do you say? Like, bitch, you haven't made one phone call. Like, just go. Just go. Get slapped in the mouth a couple times, man. Right. You're getting lost in the sauce, and you're saying, oh, should I be double closing on this? Get to a closing table. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? You haven't even
picked up the phone yet. Don't worry about that.
Put the earnest money deposit down. Like,
absolutely.
Like, what are you talking about? So, like, that's one thing I struggle with, because I'm kind of I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm an asshole, and like, my girl will tell you, bro. Like, believe it or not, I'm an introvert, bro. I don't like whenever we go places, like, it's just super chill. I don't like to talk to strangers. Like, I'm chill. But I love this shit. I love doing events. I like going on stage. I like talking to people. I like helping people. I like answering sales questions. I like, you know, pop quizzing people. What would you say in this situation? Do it this way. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm gonna take that from you. You know what I mean? Like, I love that shit. Yeah. Because that's something that I can just apply to just one facet of life. I can apply to so many other things that will just raise the quality of my life. But a lot of people, man, they get tied up in this. Oh, I gotta fucking, or the people that are like, oh, just wait, what's happening? I'm about to fucking blow people's minds. I'm hustling, da da da. And they post on Instagram. Like, don't tell me about that. Yeah. Because, like, you still talking. 2019, I remember you saying the same shit. Right. This is my year. Bitch, you still fat. You still you still ain't getting money. Like, what's going on? Like, you were a vegan for 2 weeks. Like, come on, man.
It's true. It's true.
Dude, it's crazy.
People need that type of, like, fact, truth.
You know why?
To them because
a lot of people need self-assurance. Like, they need reassurance from other people. Yeah. They need to put it out there, so that's like, okay, well, I posted it, so now
they want the credit before they do the work too.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, I'm gonna do this, and this now. Give me my credit. But it's like,
exactly, bro. I remember when I had gotten my Maserati. I had my Maserati for like a month and a half before I ever posted it. And my friends are like, dude, what's going on? Like, why'd you post it? Like, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, why? I bought it for me. Right. And I bought my RA. I didn't post it. People at the office posted it 2 weeks before I even posted. Posted it. Right. And it's because, like, those are things that I genuinely enjoy. Like, I'm a very kind of private person. Like, I don't really post my kids a lot. Today I posted with my son, but I really don't post my kids a lot, just because, like, I'm gonna tie this into crypto because we got to get into that, dude.
do it.
I'm talking for a long time.
Let's
I'm
do
sorry.
it. Let's do it.
But I'm a very private person, and some things I don't like out there. Like my closest friends, like I might text you and say, "Hey, dude, I love you, bro. Like I really value our friendship, dude. Like I really do."
Me too, man.
Or I'll call you and we'll have a conversation that's an hour long. I don't have to screenshot it, post it, and say, "Oh, I talked to," and tag you like, "Oh, big things coming, big conversations with them on." Like, I get that, bro. Like, but most people do that for the cloud and to make themselves feel so people be like, "Oh man, this guy's doing things." Like, I don't give a fuck what people think, bro. Like, I know, unfortunately, like, I just want to make money, and in my industry, it's like you have to be a certain level of famous to make money. Like I told you, I started the verification process. Like, that will help me make more money. Right. But like, do I want people seeing what I ate for lunch 24/7? Probably not.
Private life is a happy life.
Yeah, bro. It's cool, bro. Like what happens behind my closed doors is my business, And there's nothing bad going on. Like people think, "Oh, he's not posting his girl because they're not happy." Bro, I'm so in love with my girl. Like so in love with my girl. She's amazing.
That's
and she's
awesome.
not an IG thought or nothing like that. Like she's super
That's awesome.
like chill, low key. She's not fucking clout demon or anything. So it's beautiful. And like, a lot of people want the recognition before they do the work. They want to feel like, "Oh, this guy's that guy, he's going to go someplace." Well, bitch, hit me up when you got there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hit me up when you're here. Like, I didn't call you and tell you, "Hey, Ahmad, I'm on my way."
Right.
The GPS says I'm 3 minutes away. No, I hit you up. I'm like, "Here, bro, I'm at the door."
I'm here, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same
Yeah.
deal. Like, so a lot of people, get tied up in the semantics and little things that aren't going to change your outcome. Thinking about what list to pull doesn't fucking matter. Drive for dollars if you don't if you're worried about that, you should be driving for dollars. You should be door knocking. You
Right.
should be doing all the shit that's not going to cost you money. You know what I mean? But for me, private life, and I'll tell you why I have a private life. Because in 2018, at the beginning of 2018, I had a scare. I've been involved in crypto since 2014. In 2017, I cashed out. In 2018, me and a group of friends created EUNO. It's the best. But anyway, I'll get into that right now. We created this company and this coin called EUNO. That's going to revolutionize the way crypto is accepted and spent and used and transacted around the world. So during that time, I actually had what's called doxing. Back then in crypto, and you'll see it a lot in the NFT space now, where people don't dox themselves, meaning they don't have their personal information, like their real identity on their website. And it's just like, oh, secret, like it's a secret, right? They'll have like a cartoon or something. And my alter ego was Patrick Bateman. Have you ever seen American Psycho? Mm-mm. Oh, you guys are probably too young, right? It's Christian Bale. He's a finance manager, just like I was. But he lives this perfect life of fucking luxury and opulence. But he's actually a serial killer. It's pretty cool. You should check it out. Anyway, long story short, I had somebody that was extorting me, who sent me pictures of my front yard, pictures of my daughter at ballet.
Damn.
With my ex-wife, and a picture of a newspaper in front of my house with the date and my house. So it's not like on Google Street View, like somebody from.
Someone's really trying to get their head blown off.
And they're like, "Hey, you need to send me this much money." yeah. They're like, "You need to send me this much money, or something's bad's gonna happen."
Wow.
And I was scary, man. It's like, dude, what do I do? I call the cops and be like, "Oh, this guy from the crypto space is after me." They were like, "Who? I don't know." Like, it's fucking, you know what I mean? So, long story short, I negotiated with this dude. I'm like, these colors don't run, I don't negotiate with terrorists, but I did. I negotiated with this guy and got him down, and I paid money in Bitcoin, and I said, hey, but he sent me a picture of him. He's from Kyiv, from Ukraine. He sent me a picture of him holding his ID with his phone and his Telegram thing, and I got all his information. I said, you got to send me that, motherfucker. I need to make sure that this never happens again. So after that happened, I became very private. Like, I was like a fucking recluse. And all through the years of developing the crypto, with our team, I just been, they're like, oh, hop on a podcast, hop on this. And I just been kind of like nervous because it's like, dude, it's scary. But you know what? Now, I just embraced it, Fuck it, dude. If people are going to do something malicious, bro, I'm going to go on a tangent here. My brother hopefully my girl's not watching this because she'll freak out. My brother told me like, hey, dude, you need to be carrying a gun. Like you're riding around in a fucking R8 with the top down and a $40,000 watch hanging out the window. Like you need to, and like stuff has happened in the past to Alex Signs driving a Lambo and different things like that. And I don't know. I just not naive because I'm pretty street smart, but I just think, that's not gonna happen to me, or I'll beat a motherfucker's ass or something. You know what I mean? And I'm chilling. I have him fucking top down, arm out the window. So he's like, "Oh, nice watch." I'm like, "Thanks." At a stoplight, and they start walking towards me, and I put my hand inside. And I look over this way. It's another guy. I'm like, "Oh fuck, these fools are like, they're gonna fucking run at me." And they tried to fucking tussle, and I fucking took off. But
Damn.
after that, next day I got a fucking gun. Told my brother, I'm like, I got a gun, and like, of course I don't want to shoot nobody, but yeah, the world's an ugly place. But unfortunately, in my line of work, I have to be shaking hands, kissing babies. Like, I gotta be politicking 24/7.
Yeah.
The more hands you shake, the more money you make.
Right.
That's my line of work. So I can't be sitting here like, oh, I'm a fucking introvert. I don't like talking to people. Oh, posting on Instagram's like a job. Like, you can't do that. You got to get uncomfortable.
Right.
That shit makes me uncomfortable, bro. Like, yeah, you're like, oh, you're a pro at this. Yeah, I'm a pro, but I don't like doing it, man. I don't. Like,
How'd you like the one I did today?
It was good. It was really good.
I told you I was bringing a shark.
It was really good. But, with all that being said, crypto has that. I think that changed my life. And being good at sales has allowed me to get in the right rooms to advance my crypto. I don't know. Do you guys know who Akon is?
Of course.
Akon, right? Slap that.
Peace out.
Yeah. I'm locked up. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that dude, he stopped rapping. Now he's a philanthropist full time. He helps out Africa. And
That's my goal, bro.
To just help
To
people
be
out,
a
right?
philanthropist.
Yeah.
Like that label alone is just so
gangster.
sexy.
That's gangster. Like,
Yeah.
who's a philanthropist? Like, you gotta look at like Bill Gates,
Yeah.
or like Warren Buffett, like people like that. Like that's pretty baller.
Absolutely, yeah.
Add that to your bio. Hey, so long story short, he raised $6 billion with a B, yes, B. $6 billion to create this futuristic city in Senegal called Akon Land. I know it's weird. It's like Akon. Like, you can't come up with a cooler name than Akon Land. Anyway, no offense. So he built this. He got like donated. Infrastructure was there. There's hotels. There's medical centers. All types of stuff.
Yeah.
And he created his own crypto called Acoin. Original. And
That's awesome.
Yeah. So he partnered up with this company called Banks out of the UK. Well, this company has an on-ramp to be able to transfer crypto to local fiat. So fiat is like US dollars, the Mexican peso, the Japanese won, yen, whatever yen. What do you get it? So in his town, Akonland, you pay an Acoin with a debit card, and the merchant, hospital, whatever, restaurant, hotel, school, doesn't matter, they get the local currency. So I was able to get in front of that company a few times to pitch them, and I was able to lock in a contract for 3 years. So we're going to launch EUNO Pay, which you'll be able to use, and you pay, like, it'll be NFC, so you can tap to pay like Apple Pay, and it'll take your crypto and convert it on the fly, and anywhere that accepts Visa, MasterCard, will be able to use it. Any POS system.
Wow.
So it's pretty fucking huge. Like, it's a big deal. And with that, we've been able to secure a bunch of listings that are huge. Like right now, I haven't been pushing that much because I'm like, dude, we're about to like fucking blast off. Like, blast the fuck off beyond people's beliefs.
Hell yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing because I've gone through so much like turmoil and drama and ups and downs with this coin and our team together. We've had team members that have like, because a lot of the team members that are on the team are already multimillionaires. They've made money and past projects and stuff. And that's how we linked up to begin with. And we're like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this coin did this, but it didn't do this? Or wouldn't it be cool if this had this? And that's how we came up with our coin. We all just put together fucking money and time and effort and skills and came up with it. But yeah, it's finally like all the hard work, all the years, all the FUD. You know what FUD is? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, like all that shit is finally gonna pay off. And that's why I'm renting where I'm at, because my dream is to own a house on Camelback Mountain. That's why.
Hell yeah.
So when this happens, it will be life changing for not just me but a lot of people. And thank you.
Let's fucking go.
And,
Hell yeah, man.
You know, it's
That's
just going to
awesome.
create so much more awareness. Like, so much going through red tape, registering with the SEC twice, getting Howie tests, getting legal opinion on whether or not it's a security or not. Like, it's just so much drama that I've had to go through, and money, mind you, like spending money left and right. Fuck, dude, I'm in this shit pretty deep. So like, this is like,
It's all or
end all
nothing.
be all for me. Yeah, exactly.
I love that
So-
about you because you seem like the guy who's face front. You know, that you're in the battle. You're in it. You're right now, and you're going after it. It's not like, this is where I'm going. I know where I need to be, and I'm gonna like slowly get there. You're like, no, I'm trying to like,
it's
I'm trying
daily,
to like,
bro.
give me that. Like, I'm trying to get it.
And here's the problem with like software development, especially stuff that hasn't been done before. Like, you run into a lot of, okay, well, this is the forecast. This is what we're looking at. And then if we do X, Y, Z, we're going to be here. Well, you start to do X, Y, and then a problem popped up. Oh, shit, now we got to fix this problem. Well, when you fix that problem, it creates a problem in X.
Right.
So then, like, dude, it's just a fucking nightmare. You're like, oh, my God. And I'm the face of it. Like, so, I'm the CEO of it. So, like, I have to do, fucking public appearances. I have to do public announcements of what the development process is and progress. And it's just like, damn, dude, it's so stressful. So stressful because that's a whole nother world.
Right.
I have this world, which is real estate sales, all that good stuff. And then I have my crypto world. Now, the crypto world is, I will say this, more fulfilling to me because I absolutely I'm a nerd. I'm a huge nerd. I love the idea of crypto and what it can do for people, specifically for people that are unbanked. People, when I was in Iraq, I'll tell a quick story because I know we've been talking for so fucking long. There's a quick story, just one more time. There was Western Union. It was a third party. It wasn't actually Western Union. It was like a third party person who would handle this privately. It was
Habibi, Western Union.
yeah, kind of like that. But it wasn't. It was ran by like a James.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
One of
okay.
those guys.
Okay. Okay.
A contractor.
He's pointing at me.
And he would charge upwards of 30% to the Ugandans, the TCNs.
Oh, wow.
That were over there like working the DFAC and stuff. They would just pass out forks all day and get paid. And they would send all their money back to their family. Well, those people, they didn't have a bank, so when they would get paid, they had to do like Western Union joint to send money to their family. They would wait literally like 2 to 4 hours in 130-degree weathers. You know what that's like. And to go up there and they make like, let's say $250 or $400 that month to get taxed 30% of that to send money home. Like, when
Fucking James.
when crypto, come on, Jimmy. When crypto, like, you could do it, you could do it like instantaneously with a fraction of a penny to send millions of dollars. And that's one thing that has always got me. There's a lot of people in third world countries that don't have bank accounts that this could obviously help. And there's people that aren't crypto savvy. So we're also creating something that is an app. Now, here's the beauty of it. Like, the app's already been built for years. We've had it. We released it. But the problem is there's a lot of people in these third world countries that don't have that capability. They don't have Androids or smartphones or data packages. But you know what they do have? They have SMS. So there's an ability to tie a phone number to an address and send everything through text. So now you're paying now everyone has an opportunity, right? Like, fucking anyone with an Obama phone can make this happen. You see what I'm saying? So like that's like the future. I'm sorry. That's the future of an unbanked system. Like, people that are just not fortunate enough, have the infrastructure or the means to get that, they'll be able to actually become, welcome to fucking, 1965, like,
I love that,
really, but that's huge for me. That's something I'm working on, as well as the consulting firm. Like, that's why I go to these networking things. I meet a lot of good people, and a lot of people ask me like, hey bro, like, it's cool to meet you in person. Like, I didn't ask you on IG because I didn't know how to go about it, but like, how much do you charge for training? And we'll start a connection there. Like, my goal, because I am an introvert and I don't really like going to these social events, but I do it because once I get there, it's like when you're at somewhere like a club or something and you're kind of shy, or a birthday party, and like your girl's like, come on, you're like, I'll dance with you a little bit, and before you know it, she's twerking and you're like fucking going ham, right? Like, you just need that extra push. So I push myself to get out there, and then before I know it, every time I go out somewhere, it's a money making activity to me. I turn it into a sport because I love sales, so I turn it into a sport. Like,
That's awesome.
how can I invest my time into something, effort and sweat equity, and reap some sort of benefit? Not saying that everything's quid pro quo, which it's not, but in that situation, that's how I like justify me leaving my family, you know, leaving the comfort of being in my boxers. You know, that's what I think of. Like it's Sunday for me. It's late. Every Sunday is lazy Sunday. Lazy Sunday. I don't go to restaurants on Sunday, but I took my son out because I have had this before, you know, after, and I want to spend some time. But like, oh, your shit's starting in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
My bad. But I'll wrap it up, B. But you know, you just got to weigh that out. And for people out there that I know, like I went way off in different tangents, key takeaways: buy EUNO coin or else you're a fucking idiot. Number 2, get good at sales. Like, it will change your life. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, or if you're like a W-2 hourly worker, it will still help you. I promise you. And number 3, always love what you're doing and know your worth. That's the biggest thing. I see a lot of people don't know their worth.
So I was just gonna say that you value your time at a very high standard.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
That's very important.
A lot of people don't understand that. They, you know, like a lot of people are quick to call you king and queen and stuff like that, but you actually have to believe that you are one.
Right.
You have to believe, like, hey man, you dropped this. It's a crown, right? Like, you are a king. Like, what you do, what you give is something that a lot of people want, right? And there's people out there that have what you want, and you have to value their expertise, their willingness to give you something, even if it costs money, even if it costs sweat equity, relationship equity. Like, you
Right.
have to build that up. So people don't just pull up on people expecting to fucking take them out to coffee and pick their brain. Like, I can buy my own fucking coffee.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to pick
Lead
me
with
up.
value. Lead with
And don't
value.
ask a question that you
exactly.
can Google too.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
Stupid ass questions. Like, don't ask stupid questions. If you think it's a stupid question, most likely it is a stupid question. Just Google it. It's been out there, man. Before this world, bro, I was on YouTube 24/7, like watching sales videos,
Right.
watching this, listening to "Be Obsessed or Be Average" by Grant Cardone, my
Love
favorite
that book.
favorite
It's one of my
book.
favorites. Yeah,
the
I talked
audiobook
about
is
that.
incredible. You
Yeah.
know, you have to constantly be getting your mindset right, so that you can get your physical being right to go out and execute for money-making activities.
And the best way to get your mindset right is to tap in REI Allies.
Get
Thank you
it.
guys so much for tuning in to this podcast. My man, Shark Tino.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so
Appreciate it,
much
man.
for coming
I
by,
appreciate
bro.
it.
Really
I
appreciate
appreciate you. I know I
Great
could
fucking
ramble
story,
forever.
bro. I can listen to you all day, bro.
Dude.
Your story is amazing. So,
Killer.
oh yeah.